After 60, movement changes meaning. It's no longer about speed or strength. It's about staying connected to life itself. In Japan, elders don't speak of exercise the way we do. They talk about keeping the body awake. Each evening before bed, many perform small, quiet motions, rolling the shoulders, flexing the toes, turning the neck slowly, breathing deeply. Simple gestures that whisper to the body, "I am still here." These aren't workouts. They are conversations between the muscles and the mind, between the breath and the heart. And science now agrees. Small, intentional movements may do more for longevity than long walks ever could. They preserve balance, joint memory, and even emotional stability. Today, we explore this ancient wisdom, 5 simple exercises that are better than walking for people over 60. Recommended by a man who lived more than a century, still working, still moving, the legendary Japanese physician, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara. Welcome back, everyone. I'm John, and today I have the extraordinary honor of sitting with Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, surgeon, teacher, and one of Japan's most respected voices on healthy aging. Dr. Hinohara, thank you for being here.
Thank you, John. It is always a joy to share with those who wish to live fully, not just long.
Doctor, people often believe walking is the best form of exercise after 60. But you've said there are even better movements for health and longevity. Could you share what you mean by that?
Yeah, walking is good, but it is only one way to speak to the body. What matters more is variety of conversation. After 60, the muscles, joints, and nerves begin to forget what youth taught them. Flexibility, coordination, rhythm. So we must remind them gently every day. I often tell my patients, your body is like a musical instrument. If you only strike one note, say walking, you lose harmony. But if you stretch, twist, lift, and balance, even for a few minutes, your body plays a full song again. In Japan, many elders do Ragyo Taiso, the radio calisthenics we learned as children. Just 5 minutes, raising arms, bending knees, twisting the torso. It keeps the body awake. Science now shows this improves blood flow, coordination, and even memory. Then there is ankle rotation, squatting halfway, shoulder rolls, gentle neck circles, and breathing from the belly. These seem simple, but they maintain what I call the dignity of movement. When elders stop moving their joints, they stop trusting their body. When they stop trusting their body, fear begins. Fear of falling, fear of age itself. But when they move, even gently, the fear fades. They feel alive again. Their body says, you can still dance with life. You see, aging is not an illness. It is a rhythm. And movement keeps us in time with that rhythm. So do not walk only to reach somewhere. Move to remind your body, you are still beautifully human.
That's beautiful, Doctor. I'd love to explore those 5 specific exercises you mentioned, and how our listeners can begin them safely at home. Doctor, you often say that movement is a conversation, not a task. What do you mean by that?
When we are young, John, we move without thinking. We run, climb stairs, stretch our arms just because it feels good to reach toward the sky. But as we age, movement becomes something we plan, something we measure. 10,000 steps, 30 minutes of walking, 1 hour at the gym. It becomes a task, something to check off a list. Yet the body does not understand numbers. It understands rhythm, breath, and attention. Movement is the body's language. And when we move gently, we are having a conversation with it. We are saying, I am still listening to you. In Japan, elders often move in silence before bed, rotating wrists, flexing ankles, drawing small circles with their shoulders. It looks like nothing, but it is a deep dialogue. They are asking their bodies, how do you feel tonight? And the body replies through warmth, ease, and balance. These small gestures keep the body awake, like softly tuning an instrument so it doesn't go out of harmony. When we treat movement as conversation, it no longer feels like duty. It becomes a moment of gratitude. You thank your knees for carrying you another day, your back for bending, your lungs for filling with breath. And this gratitude, this listening, changes everything. The muscles relax, the heart slows, the mind quiets. The body feels respected, not forced. That is when healing begins. Not through heavy workouts or strict routines, but through gentle awareness. When you move as if you're talking kindly to your body, you don't just exercise. You remember that you are alive, that every breath is an invitation to keep living fully, softly, and with grace.
Doctor, you've often said that variety is the secret to keeping the body awake. Why is it so important to move in different ways as we age?
You see, John, the human body was never designed to repeat one motion endlessly. Every part of us, the shoulders, the spine, the ankles, even the fingers, has its own memory, its own need for expression. When we only walk, we train one rhythm and neglect the others. The legs grow strong, yes, but the hips stiffen. The shoulders forget to move and the spine becomes quiet. Over time, the body begins to sleep in certain places. To stay young, we must wake it up again, little by little through variety. In Japan, elders who remain active into their 90s do not walk for miles. They simply move in many directions. They reach up, twist sideways, bend forward, and stretch backward. They turn their wrists while boiling tea, lift their knees while waiting for the bus, roll their necks while watching the evening news. These are not workouts, but moments of aliveness scattered throughout the day. When you vary your movement, you also train your mind. The brain must adapt, balance, and respond. It stays sharp because it must listen closely to what the body is doing. That connection keeps us young inside. I often tell my patients, if you only walk forward, you will forget how to dance with life. But if you move in circles, in stretches, in pauses, you teach your body to stay curious. Variety is not just about exercise. It is about reminding every cell that it still belongs to the world, that it can still move freely through space, and that living itself is a graceful choreography between stillness and motion.
Doctor, you've spoken before about how small, gentle movements can help older adults maintain their dignity and confidence. Could you explain how something so simple can make such a deep difference?
Yes, John. You see, when a person grows older, the fear of falling or losing balance begins to whisper quietly in the mind. It starts small, avoiding stairs, sitting more, hesitating to bend down. But each time we give in to that hesitation, the body forgets a little more of its courage. Gentle movement restores that courage without force. When an elder rolls their shoulders, lifts their knees a few inches, or rotates their ankles before sleep, they are not just exercising, they are telling the body, I still trust you. That trust is what keeps a person standing tall, both in body and in spirit. In my years of practice, I have seen many who regained confidence simply by moving a little each day. A woman once told me she began doing small squats while brushing her teeth. After a few weeks, she could climb the stairs again without fear. The body listens when we move it kindly. These simple actions keep the joints lubricated, the balance steady, and the mind calm. They create what I call the dignity of movement, the quiet assurance that you are still in charge of your own life. When people stop moving, they begin to shrink into themselves, not just physically but emotionally. But when they move gently, they expand again. They remember their body as a friend, not a burden. And that friendship, that quiet confidence, is what allows aging to feel less like losing strength and more like gaining wisdom in motion.
Doctor, I'm deeply moved by how you describe aging. Not as decline, but as rhythm. Could you share more about what that means and how movement helps us stay in tune with it?
Yes, John. Aging is often misunderstood. People imagine it as something that happens to us, a slow fading of strength, a loss of vitality. But in truth, it is simply the rhythm of life-changing tempo. When we are young, the rhythm is fast. Our hearts beat quickly, our thoughts move with urgency, our bodies recover overnight. As we grow older, that rhythm softens. The tempo slows, but the music does not stop. What we must learn is how to move gracefully within this new rhythm, instead of resisting it. Movement is how we stay connected to that music. When we stretch, breathe deeply, or sway the arms, we feel the pulse of life that continues beneath the skin. It reminds us that the same energy that moved us at 20 is still there, only quieter, more refined. In Japan, elders often speak of ikigai, a sense of purpose that flows gently through each day. To move even slowly is to say yes to life, to participate in its ongoing rhythm. When people fight aging, they grow tense. The body hardens, the mind grows impatient. But when they move with acceptance, bending, breathing, walking softly, the body relaxes and age becomes a companion rather than an enemy. It is a beautiful dance, John, between effort and surrender, and in that balance one discovers peace. The rhythm of aging is not the sound of decline. It is the sound of wisdom, learning how to move more gently through the world.
Doctor, you often remind us that the goal of movement isn't to go far, but to stay present. Could you explain what that means for someone in their 60s or 70s who's trying to stay active and healthy?
Yes, John. This is something I have learned from watching the oldest people in Japan. Those who live well beyond 90, still smiling, still walking to the garden each morning. They do not move to achieve anything. They move simply to be with life. When we are young, we exercise for results, to lose weight, to gain muscle, to improve performance. But after 60, movement becomes something much more sacred. It is no longer about arriving somewhere. It is about being here now, fully alive in the moment of motion. When an elder lifts their arms, feels the air on their skin, and breathes deeply, they are not trying to win time back. They are simply acknowledging that time still flows through them. That awareness keeps the spirit young. Even a few gentle stretches can become a kind of meditation. The body moves, the breath slows, the heart listens. In those quiet moments, there is no pressure, no competition, only gratitude. I remember one patient, 93 years old, who told me, "Doctor, I walk to feel my feet on the earth." That is the essence of health. Movement is not just physical maintenance. It is a spiritual dialogue. Each motion says, "I am still part of this world." When you move for presence, not progress, the body feels lighter, the mind calmer, and even pain softens. Life, you see, is not measured by distance or achievement, but by how fully we can feel each moment, passing through us with grace.
Doctor, listening to you today feels like being reminded of something we all knew once, but somehow forgot that movement: gratitude. And attention are the true medicines of life. It's humbling to think that health is not something we chase, but something we nurture with small daily acts of care.
Yes, John. Health is not in the hospital or the gym. It lives quietly within our ordinary days. It is in the way we rise from bed, the way we breathe before sleep, the way we offer kindness, to others and to our own bodies. Longevity is not only measured in years, but in how deeply we experience each one. If you can move with awareness, eat with gratitude, rest with peace, and give with an open heart, you will live long. Not just in time, but in spirit. Remember, aging is not something to fear. It is a gift that asks us to slow down and listen more closely to life itself.
Beautifully said, Doctor. And to everyone listening, if today's conversation has touched your heart, I invite you to subscribe and walk this journey with us. Keep moving, keep breathing, and keep living gently.